So I've seen a lot of tier lists going around in the Rivals community. You know, I love watching other people. I love watching their content, seeing how they rank people. So I thought, why not rank it myself? What is going on, my homie fam dogs, home slice, fam slice, whatever I'm gonna call you guys. And today, we're here with a Marvel Rivals tier list. Yes, I play a lot of Rivals. Like a lot of Rivals. I've meant to post content on it. I have streamed like 3 times, but I wanted to make a video. I'm still trying to get the technical stuff figured out. But anyways, that's besides the point. As you can tell, I'm literally in like heaven, I guess. You're just gonna have to deal with it. My window's behind me. This is my first tier list that I'm ever putting on the channel. I have done these with friends in like Discord calls before. My Marvel Rivals tier list, we're like what, two-ish weeks? I think about two weeks into the new season or half season. All right, so this is not my account. This is my PC account. We don't talk about that. So this is my actual account on Rivals. I play a lot of this game. Level 64. I have 30 hours into this season already. I have 240 hours basically, but yeah, I'm Celestial 3. So honestly, all that to say, you can take my word, I am the end all be all. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, I actually do have a decent grasp on the game. Anyways, moving on to the tier list. And yeah, let's start off with tanks. So I guess Captain America is our first tank here. I don't think there's any F tier characters that are just completely unusable, but Captain America, he got a buff going into season 1.5. I think he's actually pretty good. I don't know if I would say, like in many other people's tier lists, mind you, people are putting a lot of tanks A and S tier. I think Captain America could be A tier. I think all the tanks are pretty good, like people are saying. He's either high B, kind of mid low A, so like high B low A. Because the thing with Captain America, I feel like, you know, he is a disruptance in the backline for a lot of people. If you're a pretty good Captain America, he's very hard to kill as well. I don't know, I have a decent amount of time on Captain America. I don't have a lot of time on him. I have at least an hour played with every character, so I have a decent grasp on every character, but I'll throw him an A for now. Delicious. Pea water. Doctor Strange got a health nerf going into this patch. I think Doctor Strange is still really good. I think Doctor Strange is S tier. I'd say S tier. The health nerf does hurt a little bit. He is a little bit less survivable. I feel like it's noticeable at least. I still think he's really good though. I still think he's really good. Now Groot, I think you have to be a really you just need to know where and when to place your walls and a bunch of other stuff. Groot is weirdly like way more offensive than defensive, and he got a small buff. You know, you can place your walls further, which actually kind of feels nice. You know, your walls aren't getting caught on people trying to run away from you and just instantly breaking. You can actually catch them. Groot is better than Captain America. I think he's better than Captain America. Some people say he's S tier. I think he has too many counters to be S tier. I think flying characters counter him pretty hard. He can attack them pretty well, believe it or not, kind of decently at least. Well is an overstatement. I think Wolverine's a huge counter. Range characters poke. I think Punisher's low-key kind of a counter to Groot. I think Groot kind of just has a lot of, he just soaks damage, which I mean, he is a tank, he's supposed to, but he takes a lot of damage sometimes. He's just kind of like a sitting duck at some points in times. No, his DPS output though, on the positive side, is like really good. Yeah, that was a decent long explanation for Groot. Hey man, this is like a video that I get to actually just explain my thoughts and stuff. You know, sometimes I'd be trying to explain them to my friends while I'm playing with them, but you know, some of them just be like tuned way out. Carson, basically don't listen to a word I say. So now you have to listen unless you skip the video. Hulk got a bit of a nerf coming into this patch. I think it was a health nerf. I think it was also the team up got nerfed a little bit with Iron Man. Hulk is still really good. Hulk is still good. A good Hulk is still very annoying. Do I think Hulk is S tier though is the question. See, I'm kind of thinking based off of what I see, because yes, I'm Celestial 3, but I can't lie, I am a quick play merchant, so this is kind of like, I haven't actually even played a game in Celestial yet, so this is kind of like, I guess it is high elo, I guess, but I play a lot of quick play because I play with my friends a lot. So I see a lot of bad players and I see a lot of like really good players on both sides on both teams. So I'm like all over the place because of quick play. But a good Hulk is like destructive. I think I can go S. I think his team up with Strange is still pretty good. I think it makes Strange good enough. I think a good Hulk is still like really good. I can always come back to this later because I think Hulk is just a tier above Groot and Captain America. I think he's a little bit more DPS than Captain America. I think he's a bit more of a threat to kill you, and I think he's a lot more survivable and mobile than Groot, if that makes sense. Anyways, Magneto, I think Magneto's an easy S. I think Magneto, personally, people go back and forth between Magneto and Strange. I think Magneto's the best tank in the game. He's like my second most played character, so maybe a little bit of bias there, but Magneto, in my opinion, has the survivability of Strange. His shield took a bit of a nerf this season in season 1.5. His shield took a bit of a nerf, which does hurt the survivability just a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to like clarify that he's worse than Strange now. They were like 1A, 1B. They still kind of are 1A, 1B as far as tanks go. I think Magneto, though, he also got a damage buff, and that damage buff actually is like enough to make him feel a little bit better in terms of finishing kills. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. This patch, weirdly enough, even though Cloak and Dagger's ult is much faster, because it's much faster, you can wait until the 4th dash of Cloak and Dagger's ult, and then they're stuck ending the animation for the ult. You can just chuck the meteor at them at the final dash, instead of trying to time it with the 3rd dash and hit the mid ult. You can just wait until the end now and hit them while they physically can't cloak or any of that. So I think it's actually easier to hit Cloak and Daggers this season than it was last season. Moving on to Peni Parker. Peni Parker, I love Peni Parker. I love Peni Parker. All right, man. She's the like my home screen for rivals and everything. I did play Peni Parker recently, like a couple days ago, trying to get like a little bit better at Peni Parker, right? Because this is kind of what I do. I just go through the character list and I just binge through all the characters, basically try to learn them, try to like perfect their kits and whatnot. Peni Parker can hurt if you're good. She has bad maps though, like the Wakanda maps. They're too open. She sucks, and the Wakanda maps very bad. I think Peni Parker, I think she is the definition of a B tier tank. I don't think she's C tier. I don't think she's D tier. I think a really good Peni Parker, like Siegel, I've watched a bit of his videos, or like if you learn how to play Peni Parker, like I think a good Peni Parker is like A tier. However, that is the exception. Like she's like the definition of B tier. Thor, I think is better than Cap. I think could be better than Groot. I think Thor is an A tier pick. I really like Thor. His displacement, his X, because I'm a console player. I guess, is it E on computer? I'm not sure. His little like, oh, what's it called? It's where he gets like enraged, I guess. That hurts. That does a lot of damage. That really hurts, but he's able to displace tanks a lot. A good Thor is tough to go against, and for some reason they just don't tend to die. It's crazy. And then I think he got a little buff this season to where there's no cooldown on it if you like do X and then left bumper, which is the lightning realm, I think, where it's like the giant circle. You can just go right back into your X again. So that's pretty cool. Venom, I think he's also A tier. Like, this is what I'm saying. I think there are good tanks. I think Groot is an S tier. I could potentially even say Hulk's not S tier. Like I said, I can come back to that. But I think Venom is closer to Captain America than he is to Thor. His changes with his ult being just a little bit better, and his dive pulling people inward actually makes a world of a difference. Venom plus Rocket team up. Venom plus Rocket, like the damage amplifier, and then Venom ult like one shots through stuff, so that's pretty cool. Venom is like pretty strong, very survivable now, like very survivable. That's not even this patch, that was last patch, that was season 1. I actually really like playing Venom whenever I play him. I just don't play him that often. I haven't played him in a while. I should get back to him. I do think he's probably a little bit better than Cap, just a little bit. Black Panther, starting off the duelist category. Oh wait, the Thing. Yeah, the Thing's sitting down here. Whoopsie daisies. Here's the Thing. Now I'm gonna cut that. I think the Thing might be almost top over Groot. I'm not sure. I think the Thing is like Thor level almost. Like this is kind of like 2A, 2B in the A category. That's a lot of letters. I think the Thing is really good. I knew from like maybe like day 2 that the Thing could be a problem because of like the fact that he can just right bumper into you, dash into you, do it again, stop you from using any mobility. That really screws up a lot of dives in the game. Really hurts them. Some people like Cloak and Dagger and Invisible Woman. I don't think they can double jump out of it. I don't think Cloak and Dagger can cloak. Maybe, I'm not sure. It hurts a lot of that. His ult, oh man, the Thing's ult is very good. If you can land a decent big stun and you have people behind you to back you up on it, it hurts bad. Now, I will say he absolutely has no answer for flyers whatsoever. That was very noticeable whenever I played him. Absolutely sucks against flyers. That is his biggest weakness. He's actually decent against Wolverine. You just want to make sure your team's probably still paying attention to you, because even though he can't get taken away, Wolverine still hurts really bad when he jumps into him. I don't think I can put him above Groot, and I think him and Thor are like right there with each other. So yeah, that's how I'll do my tanks. I think this is pretty good. I might move Hulk down later, but so moving on to do list. Black Panther. This one's difficult because I hate playing against Black Panthers personally. He's one of the few duelists I struggle against like the most. Him and Spider-Man, like a good Spider-Man or a good Black Panther, are tough, but it's like you have to be good at them. You have to be really good at them to be insane. I think a good Black Panther is like A tier, but do I put him A tier because of the people that just happen to be good at him, or do I say the average Black Panther player isn't A tier? I think I might go A for now just to play it safe. When you have one that's like a lord on your team and just goes crazy in the backline, it is insane. I hate playing against him. Oh my god. Because you can't keep up with them, especially on console. You can't really turn that fast to keep up with them sometimes. Black Widow. I played against a really good Black Widow yesterday, actually. Really good Black Widow. They were playing with a Mantis though, and they also happened to have a really good Hela. When I tell you I didn't get the chance to like really play that match, it was bad. I was basically getting like shot by Widow once and maybe Hela once, and then I was just dead. It was terrible. I hated it. She got some buffs coming into this season. Her ult and stuff, and like ammo. I think Black Widow's pretty okay. I still don't think she's that great. I think she's C tier though. I don't think she's D. I actually think a Black Widow is pretty decent. I do think she's weaker than a lot of characters though. Hawkeye is not used a lot, and thank God he's not used a lot, because I think he's really good still. I mean, they nerfed like the range of where he can technically like charge his bow back in like season 1, and then they like buffed his blast arrows twice. Nobody really uses those for real, except for like breaking structures or something like that, I guess. Hawkeye can still like one tap to the head. You just have to be good at aiming with him, and you know, maybe not get dove. I mean, I guess you could also just one tap him to the head. That's what I used to do. I don't know. I think I lost all my aiming ability with Hawkeye after season 1. Hela, I think Hela's S tier. Easy. They basically kind of reverted the damage, I think, nerf from season 0 going into season 1, and then in season 1 to season 1.5 they like buffed her like range again, so she's able to like 2-tap headshot from like any range. I think like at any range. Scary. Very scary. I don't see a lot of Helas in my lobby still to this day. It's kind of like Hawkeye, how the people just kind of like ignore them after they kind of got that nerf in season, like going into season 1. And thank God people are ignoring them, because let me tell you something. Hela is back. Iron Fist. Okay. See, Iron Fist didn't get like really buffs or nerfs. Like he technically did. I don't know. He kind of just got reworked in general. Yeah, everything's different. His meditation's different. His counter's different. Well, no, his counter's the same, but his damage like calculations are different. He's like a mini tank buster now. I think Iron Fist is probably right there with Black Widow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not nearly as scared of Iron Fist in the back line, because I play a lot of support. Support's like my main role personally. I'm not scared of an Iron Fist in the back line, not as much as I used to be. And then like, since he's a mini tank buster, if he goes for tanks, I mean, I'm not really too fearful of him against tanks either, honestly. And the sad part is I actually really like playing Iron Fist, believe it or not. I actually have like 8 hours on Iron Fist or something weird like that, maybe 5. I don't know, I might be overstating it. Iron Man. So some people have him low, some people have him like high. I think Iron Man is probably B tier. maybe Air, because what they did is like they nerfed the Gamma team up to where the Gamma is not as strong, but they buffed him without the team up to where he's stronger without it. So in all honesty, I think he's B tier. I think you know, he does struggle against Hela. He does struggle against Hawkeye. He does struggle against any hit scan, Scarlet Witch sometimes, Psylocke. Honestly, you could low-key counter him with Namor a little bit, and Punisher, and, you know, a bunch of characters, Star-Lord. But that's just how it is as a flying character, I suppose. But Maximum Pulse is great. One of my friends, Carson, is a Lord Iron Man. He's pretty good at Iron Man, and I think he's in a decent spot right now overall. Magik, I was a Magik believer basically from day one. I think Magik isn't S tier per se, but I think she is one of like the best DPS in the game. I think Magik, if you're like good at Magik, it is really hard to like kill you. And also, like, you put up so much damage. You're a threat to like everyone. One-on-ones, you're a threat to the DPS that you're one-on-oneing, or supports that you're one-on-oneing, or a Vanguard. You're a threat in team fights. You're a threat everywhere. You don't have that much downtime necessarily either. Your cooldowns aren't crazy. Your counters aren't insane. Like, flying characters kind of sort of are a counter to you as it is. You're just a melee character. That is how it is. But you can even dash up to, you have ways to kind of get there. Of course, they're more difficult. I just think she's really good. Can one shot through healing. I mean, she's just really good. Moon Knight this season is kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not afraid of Moon Knights. His ult got changed. They basically made it slower but do more damage. Thank God, because I can actually react to it now. That was the biggest problem. It wasn't the speed of the ult, in my opinion. Well, I guess it was. You just weren't, once you heard the ult go off, you couldn't react. You basically were just dead if it was like the circle was on you. Unless you just happen to be on the edge of it by the time it like started. But if you were anywhere near like the center, you're just dead basically. But like this season, you can actually kind of react to it and actually try to like escape and walk out, and it happens a lot now. But with that being said, Moon Knight's not that great. I don't think so. Do I think he's D tier? I think that's pushing it. I think D tier is pushing it. I'm not even sure if there's like a D tier character that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I low-key could. Moon Knight in any one-on-one just loses. He just loses. He loses to range. He loses to one-on-one DPS. He loses to like basically one-on-one Vanguards almost dang near. I mean, he just loses a lot of fights if you're just not stationed correctly. I'm so tempted to actually put Moon Knight down in D tier. And his ult, it doesn't really do a lot. I mean, he can do a lot of damage if you're not paying him any mind, but I mean, shoot, that can go for a lot of characters. I don't know. I don't think Moon Knight's that great this season. I'm not afraid of Moon Knight. I played a lot of games as Namor. I think it's a me problem. I lose a lot as him. It's tragic. I don't know what it is. I can't win as Namor. It's crazy. I don't think Namor's S tier. I do think, however, he is A tier. He has to team up with Luna Snow. I think the Luna Snow team up puts him in the S tier, but I'm gonna just say, just in general, I think he's high A. I could bump him up to S. I could see S. I can see the argument for S. What I figured out recently is like what it seems like people like to do in like a little bit of higher play is like 2 squids, left trigger. Basically you throw your javelin and then you like throw a primary fire, a primary attack, and then you just eliminate whoever, like any squishy basically. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of cracked. I can't lie. I could put him in S. I can see S. I might do that. I might do that here. The more I think about it, I can see it. I could see the argument for it. Psylocke. Okay, Psylocke is another like high A S tier character for me. I just don't know if I prefer her S tier or A tier, not B tier. Oh my goodness. Psylocke's very strong. Maybe it's just me because of where I am in my play. I don't see a lot of super duper cracked Psylocks, but like a good one, I've run into good Psylocks and they're hard to deal with. I could see S tier. I mean, they do a lot of burst damage. They can kill. Her ult hurts. Some people say it's like weaker after the nerf, which it kind of is. It kind of definitely is. I don't even think it's like completely that much worse. I think her ult still really hurts, honestly. I'm gonna leave her an A for now. She might just be S. She's really good. Scarlet Witch. I'm not a Scarlet Witch like uber hater. I think she's better than, honestly, I actually kind of like Scarlet Witch, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't think she's terrible. I think she's good. She's okay. You know, she doesn't excel at anything, and she doesn't necessarily, she's consistent damage, you know. Yeah, she's actually a pretty decent dive counter, believe it or not, too. So I mean, yeah, Scarlet Witch is pretty all right. She's pretty cool. She's pretty decent. Spider-Man's either top of B for DPS or bottom of A for DPS. That's where I'm at. Because a good Spider-Man, I hate playing. I play against a lot of Spider-Man. I hate dealing with Spider-Man. And after these buffs, he's got like a little cooldown reduction and like a speed increase, which I wasn't aware of until lately, to his like web swinging. It kills my flying teammates. He hurts my backline a lot. I hate it. Now with the Venom team up, he becomes a lot more of a threat. And then becomes definitive A tier. I think B right now is pretty good. I think he's top of B. I think he's easily top of B. Squirrel Girl. I think Squirrel Girl is the definition for DPS B category. She's consistent. She's just is what she is. She has to stun. She has to team up with Spider-Man, which I think people underrate. It's a pretty good team up, in my opinion. She does a lot of damage if she's not taken care of, I guess you can say for anybody. But I mean, sometimes Squirrel Girls just be shooting their squirrel nuts just in random places, and it just be hitting people. I don't know how. It just be hitting me, and it be doing a lot of damage. It hurts. It really hurts. And people usually say Squirrel Girl takes no skill, which she definitely has a lower like floor, but I think Squirrel Girl has like a weirdly decently like high-ish ceiling. Like if you can like direct hit with your like acorns or nuts or whatever often, you're a menace. Like if you can actually like land the shots instead of like waiting for them to bounce or whatnot, she's a menace. I don't think she like excels at anything, which is why I think she's like the definition of like a B tier DPS in my opinion. Star-Lord's in the same boat as like Psylocke. If Psylocke or Star-Lord move up, or if I move either one of these two up to S tier, both of them have to go to S tier. That's just how it is. They have very, in my opinion, like similar-ish play styles in my opinion. Star-Lord's really good. He got a random buff to his like flight duration for whatever reason. I don't necessarily think he needed it. I think Star-Lord is like a good, just like he's like consistent, and his ult is amazing. His ult is like one of the best in the game in my opinion. Just aimbot, like hello. I mean, you literally have to either kill him very quickly or just run, right? And his team up with Warlock gives him a res. I mean, Star-Lord is really good. Star-Lord is really good. He can dodge basically any ult in the game by just flipping. It's crazy. But I'm gonna keep him high A tier because if Star-Lord moves up, Psylocke has to move up. Storm. So don't get me wrong. Storm's really good. Storm's very good. I don't think she's, after season 1.5, they kind of nerfed her like self damage boost, and therefore she does a little bit less damage than she was doing in season 1, because holy moly, Storm in season 1 was SSS tier. It was insane what Storm was doing. However, she also boosts her teammates a lot more this season. So, I mean, or a little bit more, I should say. A lot more is a bit of a stretch. So this season, I think Storm is still S tier, but she's definitely a little bit weaker. Do I think Storm is better or worse than Hela? I think Hela is actually better than Storm this season. I think Hela is a bit scarier because you play against somebody with like decent to good aim with Hela. It's tough. The thing with Storm is that she does get her ult relatively quick still, but I mean I think Hela just Hela is the counter to Storm. It just is what it is. And then of course Storm's team up with Johnny Storm with Human Torch, that hurts. It hurts really bad. I don't think she's nearly as strong as she was last season, but she's still very strong, don't get me wrong. Going into Punisher here, literally right there with Squirrel Girl. I mean, he's cool. Nice, consistent damage, hit scan, shotgun hurts really bad. AR, the Rocket team up, I think Rocket Punisher's A tier, I'm not gonna lie. But, big but, I think without the team up, I think he's like a cool, like, he's consistent. He's consistent. That's like a common theme with like my B tier for DPS, at least in my opinion. Bucky, I think Bucky is like one of the best DPS. I think he's worse than Hela, potentially better than Storm. I'm not gonna say he is, but potentially. Bucky's like what I said just now for the B tier characters, but like up to 10. He gets the overshield from his abilities. He's good, consistent. He's literally works in any comp, basically. You can use Bucky regardless of what the rest of your team looks like, and it kind of just works. It kind of just works. Bucky headshots murk you. They hurt bad. I mean, they hurt really bad. He's anti-dive. He can technically be kind of anti-flyer if you're close enough to him as a flyer. Displace your tanks. He's really good. I mean, Bucky is really good. He works like anywhere, in my opinion. I was never under the impression Bucky wasn't a great like DPS. Wolverine, S tier. Wolverine is like an instant ban in any of my ranked games that I play with my friends. Wolverine literally is such a game-changing character. Like, it's crazy because I think Wolverine is actually at the bottom of S tier. Like, I have him, but the thing about Wolverine is the fact that even though he's not great against everyone, you still have to ban him because your tanks won't be able to play the game properly if he's a good Wolverine. A decent to good Wolverine is really scary. A great Wolverine is game changing, which is why you kind of have to ban him unless you just want to be down your tank for most of the match. Yeah, that's Wolverine. And I love Wolverine. I play a lot of Wolverine, or a decent amount of Wolverine. Probably one of my favorite DPS to play. Human Torch. Actually, before Human Torch, my bad, Mr. Fantastic. So Mr. Fantastic, in my opinion, isn't that bad. Do I think? I see a lot of people putting him like really, really low. I think Mr. Fantastic's good. I don't think he might be low B tier. I can see the argument. I have a friend that plays Mr. Fantastic. I like Mr. Fantastic personally, though he did kind of have that random nerf coming into this patch, like AoE, like shield or whatever, but at the cost of like 2-second cool, like. It's cool. Can't like pull into your teammates as much or often as you used to be able to. And his ult, I think his ult, I don't know. People talk about his ult like it's an overall nerf. Kind of. It does more damage, but it also has a damage fall off now. So, I mean, I think those things kind of interchange. I think Mr. Fantastic's like cool. He's a C tier. High C, low B. Maybe. I like Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic. Oh man. Oh dear. Human Torch. Hot take. Human Torch might be like the worst DPS in the game. He might be one of the worst characters in the game. In my opinion, looking at this list, thinking about how I feel, I haven't played a quick match or any matches with Human Torch against actual people. I've played with 2 Human Torches that I could consider like that did good in my games. I can't lie. I've seen 2, maybe 3 in general that I've played against or with. 3. We beat the 3rd one. He's good at aerial denial as we thought he was going to be, right? His ult absolutely sucks, in my opinion. His ult isn't that great. His team up with Storm's good, but I mean, shoot, Storm gets banned a lot too. His ult though is like alone might be one of the worst DPS ult. I cannot lie. It gives like season like 1 Squirrel Girl type vibes because I mean, people move, people get healed. I guess if you want to lock down an area, if it's like overtime, yeah, sure. His ult might be decent, might be better. If it's overtime on a point and people just have to stand there, I don't know. I don't think the tornadoes are like big enough. Maybe I don't think they do enough damage in a small amount of time that you can catch somebody in them. I think people can just run away. I'm not sure if it slows or not, but maybe it should. I'm not sure. As far as everything else with Human Torch goes, his projectiles are a bit slow. I've suggested this to my friends a couple times when I'm talking to them about how Human Torch could be a bit better. I think you just like maybe remove the windup, make the projectiles probably not storm fast, because I think that would make him a little bit insane, because it is a shotgun at the end of the day technically. I think you remove that windup and speed up the projectiles maybe a little bit, or maybe just remove the windup and don't do anything else at all. I think it becomes a lot better. There's a little bit of a meme as well that goes in the community that he just feeds the team that you're playing against like healer ult charge basically, because he does damage, but he doesn't do enough damage quickly enough to he doesn't do enough burst damage is the terminology for that. He does a lot of damage over time, a lot of dot damage, and that damage, if it's not killing, it's just gonna give the other team ult charge, which is a funny argument, but I'm not the one saying that, but that is what I've seen, and I can definitely see where it comes from. Human Torch might be D, but if Human Torch is D, I'm not gonna lie, Moon Knight might also be D. I don't really think, I'm not a big Moon Knight believer. I really think he's cool. I really think his kit's really cool. I like how it is. I just don't think it's good. I think most people have Mr. Fantastic down here. I think Mr. Fantastic's good, or better than what people say. I think Human Torch just, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think he's that great. I think he might be the worst DPS in the game, if not the worst character in the game, which is a tragedy. But I'm not saying that he's unplayable. He's he just doesn't add that much value. I can't lie. Anyways, enough Human Torch slander. My bad. I'm sorry. On to supports. Adam Warlock. I played a lot of Adam Warlock so far this season. I can't lie. I just randomly decided to like lock in on Adam Warlock because I saw like that Punch Kid play him, and I was like, shoot, was I sleeping on Adam Warlock? Because Adam Warlock was already one of my more played supports, but I guess I just didn't understand him fully, right? I didn't understand when to use his damage reduction. I didn't understand like his specific role and things and stuff. I think Adam Warlock's A tier. I really do. I really think Adam Warlock is really good. His res can save games. It is definitely a little bit hard to try to like find a spot for them sometimes because people be chasing you down as a Warlock sometimes. It's crazy. His damage is amazing. His healing's actually not bad. It's just you can't expect him to heal as much as other healers. I think Warlock's like, good. His soul bond is like, it's basically ult level like damage reduction or something. It's crazy. Like if you get like a 4 or 5 man soul bond, even like a 3 man soul bond, you're basically negating a lot of damage in that fact alone. So yeah, no, Adam Warlock, DPS in a healer's body. I love Adam Warlock. I think he's A tier. Cloak and Dagger, controversial. I'm not gonna lie, that Cloak and Dagger ult hit, and like I think they did something else and I can't remember what they did. Like I think they reduced the duration of it and they made it a little bit faster to get it out. However, like I said, with Magneto, I think it's easier now to hit them out of their ult, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy how that works. I don't think Cloak and Dagger is all that great anymore. A tier, maybe. I think they might still be A tier. I think Warlock's better than Cloak and Dagger. I'm not sure if that's bias. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think Warlock's better than Cloak and Dagger this season. I don't even know if Cloak and Dagger even is A tier. Like I'm thinking low A tier, if A tier. High B is crazy for Cloak and Dagger, but I mean, like the more I think about it, her ult was like one of her best features, but the healing output from Cloak and Dagger is good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, if you're healing like a tank or something, it is like, I don't know, the healing bubble helps, but like compared to some of the other healers, they just burst heal a little bit faster. Now Cloak, the damage cape, it got a bit of a buff. It does hurt a little bit more. It's just I feel like since her healing output just isn't that great, sometimes you don't even get the chance because your team's kind of getting hurt so bad to even switch into Cloak at certain scenarios. I think they're still A tier. I think they're low A tier though. I think Cloak and Dagger took a really hard hit this season. I cannot lie. Jeff the Land Shark. I hate playing against DPS Jeffs. I can't lie. However, DPS Jeffs also absolutely require you. Unless you're like cracked and your team just isn't paying any attention to Jeff whatsoever, I wouldn't recommend doing that. You can ignore him, like flanking Jeffs. Don't let them just shoot you in the back consistently. That will get you killed. Drive them away. Turn back around. Focus on what you're doing. Drive them away again. Don't focus them. You won't kill them. Don't focus them. However, make sure they're not like killing you, basically. However, you have to play, what I was saying was, you have to play Jeff in a 3 support lineup most times. Like I said, unless you're just cracked at DPS Jeff, because Jeff in a 2 support lineup playing DPS doesn't tend to work too well. Jeff with that Luna team up, it still doesn't work too well because you're kind of leaving your Luna, Mantis, whatever, Loki, Warlock, whatever, whoever you have as the second support alone. Yeah, no, don't recommend that. That's the only reason why I think Jeff is B tier. I do think DPS Jeff is annoying and really hurts, hence why I don't think he's like C or D tier at all. I do think as far as healing goes, not the greatest. However, yeah, no, Jeff hurts. Loki's S tier in my opinion. I think people have him bouncing around A, S tier. I think he's S tier. Immortality shield, what, every like 12, 20-ish something seconds? I don't know how long it is. Immortality shield is an ult, basically. That's stupid. He can steal an ult. He can steal Luna Snow. He can steal Mantis. He can steal the Invisible Woman. He can steal. I saw a game yesterday where the Loki stole Scarlet Witch and they pulled out 2 pure chaoses in our face. Both of them did nothing, surprisingly. I'm not sure how they managed to do that. We were kind of rolling them, but I mean, that's besides the case, I guess. Loki's really good. A good Loki is really good. He's actually hard to kill, believe it or not. Constantly swapping clones, going invisible, blah, blah, blah. Immortality shield. Triple support with a Loki is very, very, very hard to deal with still. Very hard to deal with still. And I hate that Johnny Storm's down here because of that, because I really think the devs, like the way they go about nerfing certain characters is by adding new characters that kind of deal with that. But Loki, anyways, like I was saying, Loki and triple support, very good. Very good. Hard to deal with. Hate a good Loki. Luna Snow, probably the best healer in the game. Not much else to say. She is hit scan. can actually deal with enemies at a longer range, flying enemies as well. She has a freeze, you know, can stop dives if you hit it. Has AoE healing that pierces through people. I mean, 12-second healing / damage ult. I mean, it's just, Luna Snow's just amazing. I think she's great. And then she enables Namor and Jeff with the team up. She's just really good. Mantis, I think Mantis is above Warlock. I don't think Mantis is S tier though. I was never a big believer in Mantis falling off in season 1. Mantis like fell off in pick rate and stuff in season 1. It was kind of confusing. Mantis was literally all that changed, just like her speed. Wow, she got slower. Let's stop using Mantis entirely. No, Mantis is really good. Solo Mantis is weirdly like viable if your team can like stay alive decently well, like if they can self-sustain a little bit. Don't do that, by the way. I'm just saying I've done it before with my friends and stuff while we were playing with randoms or whatever. The reason I have Mantis above Warlock is because they're like the same thing. They're like off heals or DPS heals or whatever you want to call them. They're basically the same thing. But Mantis has a defensive healing ult that is underrated in my opinion. It gives you movement speed. It just doesn't last as long as Luna Snow's. And Mantis actually does do a sneaky, like a lot of damage, and you're able to upkeep a lot of different teammates at the same time, which is why I think she's a little bit better than Warlock. I do just like playing Warlock more personally though. Rocket Raccoon. So, fun fact, I'll get to Rocket Raccoon last. Invisible Woman. I think Invisible Woman, I've been convinced, I think. At first, I wasn't too sure. I think Invisible Woman is right up there with Luna Snow. I think Invisible Woman might be 1A, 1B. Invisible Woman's ult is probably the second best, not even probably. I think with the Cloak and Dagger nerf, Invisible Woman's ult is the second best healing ult behind Luna Snow. Invisible Woman, she has the double jump to get out of situations, sticky situations. Sometimes she gets caught. It is what it is. It happens. She heals herself while she's invisible. She can push people off maps if she needs to. She can pull people trying to run away, like Hulk, like Panther, like Magik, like any of your dives. She can pull them back in, ruin their escape plans, get them killed. It's crazy. Invisible Woman's good. Great AoE heals. I will say I don't think she's the greatest at healing flyers. I mean, she does have her shield, but when it comes to multiple flyers on a team, not the greatest. That's where I think Luna Snow is a little bit better, but yeah, no, Invisible Woman is really good. And finally, but not least, my boy Rocket Raccoon. That's right, the Rocket Union will have nothing to say about this, because check this out right here. I am a Lord Rocket Raccoon. I am a Rocket Raccoon main, believe it or not. I love Rocket Raccoon. I basically grinded to Celestial 3 with Rocket Raccoon, Magneto, and Warlock. I am the Rocket Raccoon guy. So yeah, so it may kind of be a little bit biased, but I love Rocket. He's pretty easy, I can't lie. Duh. Now his burst healing is not up there with Invisible Woman, with Luna Snow. I'm not delusional now, but I do genuinely think Rocket, some people have him B, some people even have him as low as C. I think Rocket's an A tier here. I really do. I think the healing output that Rocket puts out is really, like, it's hard to compete with sometimes. Some people say he steals ult charge. Okay, so yeah, whatever, I guess. His amplifier is underrated. You team up his amplifier with a lot of other people's ults, they end up just like murking people like on site. It's crazy. Sometimes I like to use it as a defensive ult, believe it or not, semi like counter ult, I guess. Luna Snow ults, say she ults, Luna Snow's ulting, we won't be able to kill them for like 12 seconds. No. I put down my rocket amplifier. My teammates also simultaneously like do their thing, and we actually have an opportunity to, one, gain more ult charge, and or two, kill through the Luna Snow ult, because it's just that big of a damage multiplier or a percentage multiplier, whatever you want to say. And people are like, but you know, all rockets do is just hold down left trigger or right click, I guess, on PC. Yeah, I think it would be right click. I don't. Yeah, I actually shoot. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do with Rocket, if you see a tank, Rocket kind of shreds tanks, I can't lie. Aim for the head, aim high, and just hold down your shoot button. Rocket kind of shreds. Now as far as dealing with other characters, you can just run away. He lives like easily. He lives. A good Rocket should not die that often. Same with Jeff, by the way. I never mentioned that. And then don't even get me started on the res. He has to respawn. I have saved many a teammates with that respawn beacon. I don't think you understand how important it is. Like, if one healer goes down, it gets infinitely harder to keep your team up in a fight. However, they get respawned, you're basically, nothing ever happened, right? I've actually lost a game recently in quick play, like I said, with friends of mine, where I had killed a tank, and then the tank comes back, and I'm like, I just killed that tank. He hits us with his ult, kills like half my team, and like my boys are like, man, what the heck, man? I was like, no, bro, I killed that guy. They have a rocket. I completely forgot they have that beacon. I killed him. And then he came back, ulted us, and basically like lost us the game because he should have been dead, but he wasn't dead. I recommend that if you play Rocket, I think you should actually go on the offensive a little bit more. It adds a little bit more value to your team. Anyways, enough of my Rocket rant. I just see a lot of Rocket hate everywhere. So I just had to show them to all my Rocket haters. Get off. If you know, you know. Yeah, I think this is my list. I'll go through, take a little look-sees here and see if I want to change anything. I'm very tempted to put Moon Knight in D. I might do it. I don't want to anger all my Khonshu loving players out there to have Moon Knight in D tier, but I'm not sure how respectable my list is in the first place. He loses like every one-on-one in the game. Like, I don't think there's a one-on-one where I'm taking Moon Knight over anyone. I've killed Moon Knight as Rocket before, man. I'll take Warlock over Moon Knight. I'll take literal strategist supports over Moon Knight in one-on-one. He is good when teams are running multiple tanks or like triple support. I don't think his ult's really all doing too much anymore. I think Moon Knight and Human Torch are some of the weaker characters in the entire game. I generally think all of these people, I can make an argument for why they're better than Moon Knight. So using that logic, that's why I've moved Moon Knight down to D. Human Torch can stay in D. As far as the order of things go, I think I got the order pretty good. I guess the only other thing I could justify arguing in this list right now is, do you want to rank Psylocke, Star-Lord, and Namor into S tier? I don't think so, because so far my S tier has a common theme of, okay, these are basically some of the most noticeable bannable characters that you would see in a game. I don't think you ban Psylocke. I don't think you ban Star-Lord, because I think Star-Lord and Psylocke are really, really, really good. If I like sorted this, like if I didn't have this sorted by DPS tanks supports, I think Psylocke and Star-Lord could dang near make an argument for being top of A just in general. Black Panther and A is also one that I'm debating. Yeah, I think this does it. I think this is my final list. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't make too many people like upset or angry about this. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me like basically yap for like been recording for like an hour straight just looking at this. So yeah, this is my final list. Let me know what you think. It's sorted by class and then ranked from best to worst in said classes. This is my current feeling on the game. Tell me in the comments, what would you change? If you had to guess, what would you change? Would you move Psylocke, Star-Lord, Namor up to S tier? Would you move some people down? Would you move Moon Knight up to C? Would you move Human Torch up to C maybe? Would you move Rocket down, Cloak and Dagger up? No, Cloak and Dagger definitely not up. Please don't do that. I don't think Cloak and Dagger's S. I don't think she's S. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. I don't know. I can't control you. And anyways, please have a great day. I don't know. Look out for more Marvel Rivals content in the future, please.